In this absolutely jaw-dropping moment, the enemy has actually invented new types of troops, and the man nearly felt his doom due to the surprise attack. He unexpectedly discovered Furui under the car and hurriedly passed her the hose. Suddenly, a motorcycle placed a bomb under the car. Realizing the urgency, Furui had to go all out. After all, if it blew up, he'd be toast. Just as he was about to defuse the bomb, the enemy noticed him because the car was crawling along, and they quickly climbed aboard. It wasn't until Furui fixed the fuel line that things started looking up, but just as quickly, disaster struck again. A downed pilot broke the radiator, and Furui had to charge back. This performance reminds me of my crazy friend. You really need years of experience to pull this off. Finally, they solved the immediate problem. The two worked together like a well-oiled machine, easily taking out the enemies. Just when they thought it was safe, another new enemy unit swooped in with a glider. They kept dropping fire oil on the truck. Luckily, Jack had prepped for this, so they didn't turn into BBQ. But just then, another flying motorcycle. They started shooting at Furui, but unfortunately, his aim was atrocious. He ended up getting pinned by furious arrows right in the thigh, unable to move. Taking advantage of the enemy's reload, she launched her final attack boldly. After defeating enemies, only two remained. Furui tried to take the car, but Jack shoved her out. Soon, he found himself alone in the desolate wasteland, feeling a bit dazed and unsure what to do, yet he kept pressing buttons on the car. He just kept blasting out lines, deeply terrified that this barren land would lead him astray. On Furious' car, there was only himself left, standing in the desolate wasteland, and at that very moment, he was completely dumbfounded. Subtitles. But very soon, Jack unexpectedly turned back by himself, directly facing the barrel of Furious' gun. Yet Jack wasn't too worried. After all, they were both battle-hardened veterans. Once support arrived, they quickly raced to the bullet farm, like desperate shoppers at a food market, with bullets pouring in. Jack handed Furui a gun, saying everything's set. They could leave whenever. Soon after, they arrived at their second destination, the gas zone, where chaos reigned supreme. At this point, Furui gripped her gun tightly, staring at her enemy. In the end, Jack suddenly popped up to separate them. After all, if he went down, nobody was getting out unscathed. This transaction was a disaster. Starving refugees were causing mayhem, and Dimmont's crew couldn't keep up at all. In the end, they lost all the food and didn't score any fuel, revealing Dimmont's lack of leadership. Before leaving, Dimmont had Jack relay a message to Old Joe announcing a ward meeting in 3 days. Back at the castle, they told Old Joe what happened, and everyone was full of fury, plotting hard to deal with Dimmont. But nobody noticed Furui, probably because it had been so long, and she had changed so much. In the end, Old Joe ordered Jack to return to the bullet farm to prepare for the big showdown. That night, while Jack treated Furious' wounds, he noticed the tattoo on her arm, realizing it was a map to Oasis. After everything they had been through, they were already comrades, and Jack promised to help Furui find her way home if she needed it. The next day, they set out on the journey once again. However, halfway along the journey, Jack suddenly gave the order to stop the car and asked Furui to move from the driver's seat to the small compartment at the back of the car, clearly having a premonition that something was amiss. Sure enough, the situation turned out as he feared. As the convoy entered the farm again, Jack noticed it was eerily quiet. He immediately ordered a stop, and then saw Mouth holding a silkworm, instantly recognizing it as Dimmont's dog. He warned everyone, but it was too late. Subtitles. Only Furui, positioned at the rear of the vehicle, managed to step back in time and successfully escape from the farm before the gate closed, while Jack and the rest were blocked inside. Soon, the albino warriors were wiped out one by one, while Jack hung on for dear life with Furious' help. Realizing the danger, Jack jumped back into the vehicle. He knew he needed to move, even if it meant dying as a driver. He first reversed and took out the enemies behind him. Subsequently, he sent out a signal towards the sky. Upon witnessing this scene, Furui comprehended that Jack was indicating for her to proceed first. However, he didn't drive very far before coming to a halt once more, as he was not the kind of person who would abandon his companions. Just like he didn't abandon his mother back then, Jack began circling the farm in the truck. Meanwhile, Furui was covering him with her rifle, her incredible marksmanship saving Jack time and time again. It even made Dimint, the commander, too scared to show his face. But Dimint was no slouch. He was tough and ruthless, and soon retaliated. At that moment, Strong Cicadilla successfully approached the tower, charging forward and knocking down the enemy. But Saint-Bear didn't expect this guy to have such great luck and grab the edge of a nearby broken bridge to survive. On the other hand, Strong Cicadilla accidentally got tangled in a crane, looking ready to plunge into the abyss. At this life and death moment, Leela rode her motorcycle in, threw a rope to Strong Cicadilla, and rescued him. Afterward, the two sped away on a motorcycle, aiming to escape this place of chaos. They fled to the oasis for a carefree life, unaware trouble lingered, with the fool chasing close. At this point, the enemy was frantically chasing after them like a mad dog, and Strong Cicadilla quickly fired back. However, the enemy's car had bulletproof glass, making it impossible to penetrate what her headache. Seeing this, Leela put her incredible driving skills to work, creating smoke to throw off the enemy. Even so, she couldn't completely shake the enemy off, and they quickly found them again. Strong Cicadilla and Leela were in trouble. They quickly drew their guns, but not a single shot hit the mark. Talk about luck. The problem was, Leela's hand nearly got crushed in the door, and their car was flipped by the enemy. But that wasn't all. Dimint decided to take it to the next level and tied Strong Cicadilla to the back of a motorcycle, spinning him around. Leela was hung up, forced to witness Strong Cicadilla literally being worked to death. What a grisly scene. Just as they were about to execute Leela, they shockingly found out she had already escaped in the chaos. All that remained was Leela's severed hands. This is truly brutal. And thus, Leela successfully made it back to the base and immediately informed Old Joe of Dimint's heinous acts. Upon hearing this, Old Joe was furious and immediately decided to face Dimint in a final showdown.